This show is part of the Miles Offside Podcast Network. Visit twitter.com/milesoffsidepod for more information. And now, on with the show.
And welcome to another episode of the Miles Offside Podcast, where we talk a little bit of football and a whole lot of absolute bollocks. My name is Chuck Bailey, known only as that, and with me as always is absolutely no one, because I'm the only fucking that bothers to show up every week. But my co-host, Mr. Oscar Puente, is here, and he's rocking a very sexy Phoebe Flem voice. Check in, Oscar. How we doing?
Hey everybody, how we going this week?
Oh, that sounds quite clear. Clearer than it was a minute ago.
Yeah, it's because it's the afternoon. You should hear me in the mornings. It's nothing.
And the person that is going to have to deal with all of the edits for coughs, sneezes, splutters and such, super producer Ian Stimson there as well.
How are you?
I am living the dream. I've got a big cup of coffee. I've just started a new job. I'm a chef now, and cooking and shit, yeah. Genuine
chef in our midst.
Yeah, innit? I'm like a real boy. Signed my contract and everything. It's good. Nice little hotel and pub.
Amazing.
So yeah, it's been an eventful week. Much better than a lot of the boring football, but I guess we'll talk about it anyway. How about you, gents? What's been going on in your weeks?
I've had a disappointing roast dinner today, and that's really upsetting.
Kelly doesn't listen, does she?
No, or she also doesn't make a roast dinner. She's a vegan.
Is it because you made a vegan roast dinner? Is that why?
No, God, no. I don't do that.
What do you roast? Dust?
It was a lamb shoulder, but it was fatty, and I did this thing where because I had loads of stuff going in the oven, I had to put it was a pot roast. I had to put it directly on the bottom of the oven. So I've got this oven where you can either make the hot top heat up or the bottom heat up, and I thought, I won't do the bottom, because that would be directly heating the bottom of the pan. So I did the top. Basically came out raw. And then I had to fucking blast it. Then it wasn't barely edible anyway. So I'm very upset.
Why did just as a, regardless of chef, why didn't you just turn the oven on?
No, I did do that.
Rather than worry about top and bottom. Just have the oven.
No, because then I thought, because if the bottom element heats up as well, I thought it was going to be too much direct heat on the sort of bottom of the pot roast pan I was doing the meat in. I wasn't happy with that. I didn't think it'd matter, but it clearly mattered.
As everyone knows, you only want to cook the top half of your food ever.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's... Yeah. And what most of us do is we just put our food on a cold piece of something, and we hold a frying pan heated above our food to cook it.
That's correct, yes. Or the little gas lighter, the one that clicks that you use to turn on your grill usually.
Right, okay.
I just hold that above my food very slowly.
In retrospect, and hearing you say this, I can realise how stupid it sounds.
Yeah.
That I was basically trying to grill a roast, but it wasn't like that. And I'm really, really upset. And I thought I might get some support, but fuck it.
No, you went to the wrong people if you want support.
No, you went for support and you spoke about food. We are very direct with food.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just surprised you didn't douse it in heavy cream and call it a day.
How about you, Oscar? What's been going on?
Lots of running around, traveling. I got another tattoo yesterday, so I was down in New York for that. And I have bronchitis, as usual, because it is the end of September / beginning of October, so...
Hang on, like actual bronchitis?
Yeah. I get it every year. Like, literally every year at the end of September.
What? That's what, like, old people get, and smokers, and they die.
Yeah, I've had it a few times, yeah.
So, exactly, old people.
Yeah, exactly. It is debilitating. I'm surprised you're functioning at all. It's fucking horrible.
Yeah, I mean, I'm propped up by pure cold medicine at this point. In the last 48 hours, I've driven 300 miles, sat in a tattoo chair for 5 hours, and am now recording a podcast at the end of all that, so...
So it sounds like you were sitting down doing something, you were sitting down doing something, and then you were sitting down doing something. What the hell are you moaning about, dude?
And I did watch all the soccer yesterday, but I don't really remember looking at these scorelines, and I'm like, did that happen? Is that a thing? I'm pretty sure that's half Dayquil and half just pure exhaustion, so... Good week for a soccer podcast. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump in then with our... Rapid.
Oh, God.
Yep. There it
You
is.
sound like a chainsaw starting.
I'm trying to do like the sexy newscaster voice, but it's not coming out.
That was an absolute mess.
Let's try that one again. Rapid fire news.
Wow. Do you want to wipe down your mic?
Let's pretend that went well. Our top story this evening. Bayern Munich have threatened to boycott the German national team over a row involving goalkeeper Manuel Neuer. Uli Hoeneß has threatened that Bayern Munich will no longer release players for the Germany national team if Marc-Andre Ter Stegen replaces Manuel Neuer as the country's number one.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what's the cut-off?
Yeah, got to be in there in goal with a Zimmer frame or something.
Yeah, innit? He is just holding onto the post. Or they just strap him up in, like, some sort of torture racks pose and just have his arms and legs sticking out to maximise.
Carry on indefinitely. It could be Weekend at Bernie's style.
They could totally. Weekend at Manuel's. That works.
Yeah, that's the most petulant shit I've ever heard. And, like, that really would decimate the German team. Because they are just Bayern plus a couple of other players for the most part.
Yeah, they got butthurt because in the last major tournament they dropped. I'm pretty sure it was Mats Hummels and Jerome Boateng. Jogi Löw got rid of them, and obviously Germany did really well there. Not necessarily because of that, but Bayern are just a bit, toys out of pram. It's just, why would you say something like that? Why you're the Bayern Munich president, you're not the Germany president. Merkel should get involved. Get Merkel in. Merkel in goal. She'll love it. And yeah, Neuer's got to be, what, like mid-30s now?
Yeah, I think so.
He's got to be coming to the end, doesn't he? I mean, blimey.
And at some point, it's got to change. Like, he can't just be like Buffon and be there until he's 40-something. It's just not going to work.
I hope that they all get crocked in the next international match and Bayern have got no players.
Yeah. And then fuck you, early Hoeneß.
Which team do you think would be most likely to threaten the same thing in England?
None of them, because they have no English players. It doesn't affect anyone. Man City would be what, like John Stones and Kyle Walker.
Spurs? There's no one from Chelsea. Oh, well, actually, now they are, again. There were no Chelsea players for a while there.
I don't think there's anyone, like, super heavily represented, is there?
Maybe Burnley.
Brexit FC, they totally pull out of internationals.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's keep it moving with our big stories. We bring you the big stories. Why do I keep just saying big?
Because your bronchitis has ruined your use of superlatives.
Yeah. God.
Great big. Go great big.
Only the breaking top stories coming from us. Yeovil Town ball boys sent off. Under normal circumstances, 8 red cards would leave a match on the brink of abandonment. At Hewish Park, however, 8 red cards were brandished just to keep the contest going. That's because referee Aaron Jackson decided the ball boys dotted around the pitch for Yeovil Town's National League game against Bromley were hindering rather than helping the action on the field.
I love this. The level of pettiness just seems brilliant. But I mean, it is annoying when ball boys just hang on to it and you're like, come on, you little shit, just give it back. But I just love that a grown man would then send off 8 of them.
Yeah, they should have just given them the hazard treatment and just kicked it.
Yeah, straight in.
Kicking the ribs. But what's great of this, that there's 2 reasons. Obviously, it's absolutely hilarious that it was one ball boy that he reprimanded and then just got rid of all of them, which then meant he had to ref the game and go get the ball every time. Every time it went off, which is just fantastic. I mean, they brought in this season that referees can show coaches and stuff like an actual yellow and red card, and obviously they trial some stuff in the lower leagues, like they did the orange card and sin bin, etc. I don't know if it's that level at the minute, but just to show red cards to ball boys, like do they have to pay a fine to the club?
3-match ban.
3-match ban, yeah. No ball boys at any game.
It's really funny. Have you guys ever seen anything like that? I've never heard of that happening before.
No. I've seen, obviously, the ball boys being kicked and threatened.
Sure,
I think Mourinho did. I think Jurgen Klopp did to a kid that was clapping him. Called him like a little dickhead or something.
I love it. Sign him up at Chelsea. I love shithousery like that. It's good stuff.
And nice to hear a little mention of Bromley on the pod, which is pretty much where I grew up as well. So there we go.
Ah, there you go.
And when I was a kid, my dad used to referee there when they were a Sunday league team, and sometimes I'd go and watch.
It was your dad, wasn't it?
It was my dad. He's twatting ball boys next week. Get involved. He's not allowed back in Yeovil. All the kids are unemployed now. They can't.
Well, to take it to a equally entertaining story, I think. Rob Holding said that the Arsenal players had to vote on 5 different captains for Unai Emery.
God, I forgot this.
Yep. We had a vote the other week, so we'll see what happens and see who gets named. We had to write names down and then give them to the manager. He will go through them and obviously with his input, we'll see what happens. I don't know when it will be announced. I think it will be in the next couple of days. I have no idea. He also went on to say that people didn't quite understand the rules or if they were allowed to vote for themselves or what. But obviously, fast forward a couple of days later, with shenanigans like that, you can only get one result, and that is that Granit Xhaka has been named the new captain of Arsenal.
It's just such a weird thing that he would... I mean, obviously, Emery's sitting there and just thinks to himself one evening, you know what? I'm going to make... We need leadership in this team, so I'm going to make 5 captains. And evidently he's been watching too much NFL or some shit. Like, it's a ridiculous concept, and getting the players to vote... Like, this is almost as bad as, like, starting an FPL team and getting everyone else to do it for you. Like, it's outrageous. And then to get Granit Xhaka, who... all Arsenal fans have been just shouting at that they pretty much don't want him in the team. And he's now a captain. Like, the captain, out of the 5.
I think the only funnier outcome could have been Mesut Ozil. Like, that's the only possible thing that we're going... And they are all just like, well, we love him. He plays Fortnite with us in the locker room. Like, he's good times. It's just a popularity vote at that point.
Top man. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Democracy doesn't work.
No,
not at all.
Votes don't work.
Yep. They still haven't, for the record, in case you're wondering, decided on a vice-captain. Currently, forwards Alexandre Lacazette and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang are understood to be the leading contenders. Unclear if they'll have to have a second vote. Or,
a referendum.
Yeah, or if Xhaka gets to pick his running mate, like we do here. Not really sure.
And then Guendouzi prorogues the whole thing.
Shuts down Arsenal for 5 weeks.
Yeah.
All right, well, to keep it moving along, Barcelona have been fined £265.
Can you convert that into dollars for our Virginians, please?
$325.50 Barcelona have been fined for tapping up Antoine Griezmann. That is not £265,000. It is £265.
What the fuck is the point of that? I mean, forget the fact that it's obviously ridiculous compared to other transfer bans, whatever. But administratively, what is the point of that? You've not even got your costs back, surely.
Yeah, definitely not with, like, the lawyers and the investigation and everything else, like...
They should at least have to pay for that. I mean, it costs more than that for someone to draw up the letter telling them they're fined, probably.
Man, that shit really makes me angry, though. Like, why fucking... Like, that no one gets punished for fucking anything, ever, except one fucking team.
Where's the fucking victim? God, I'm going to start calling you a Liverpool fan.
All right, and to sort of wrap it up on the actually relatively rapid fire, for us at least, news this week, Roma have handed a lifetime ban to a supporter who racially abused their defender Juan Jesus on social media. The Serie A side tweeted an image of the messages, including details of the account, and confirmed that they had reported the incident to the police. The public denunciation was met with widespread appreciation. The executive said, "The rot is deep and no one is taking this issue seriously enough, but we are, and we will ban him for life."
Good for them.
Yeah, about time. It is nice to see, like, people actually doing something and not just paying lip service to the idea of, like, oh, we don't really approve.
Well, especially someone in, like, football, because there was...
In Italian football.
Yeah, in Italian football.
Yeah, Italian
because
football.
Because there are no teams... Because who was it? What team that was making monkey noises at Lukaku? And it's been the same one. They did it to, like, Blaise Matuidi one year. They did it to Moise Kean last year.
Cagliari.
So obviously they've had this, and it's just been completely ignored. There was a TV pundit who got fired because he said It was something like with Lukaku that they should give him 10 bananas to distract him.
Unbelievable.
Something like that. And that guy just got dismissed right away. So it's good that Roma are doing something that Cagliari aren't.
Yeah. Yeah, banned for life. Good fucking riddance. And you compare that with, like, the shit going on at Man City this week, and that whole controversy, and the, like, sure, maybe, who was it? Bernardo, right?
Bernardo
that was,
Silva, yeah.
He tweeted, like, a really racist caricature at Mendy, and then they both had a laugh about it because they're friends, and he didn't mean it maliciously or whatever, and then everyone was like, well, he's not a racist, so it's okay, because he wasn't trying to be racist, and it's like, well, it's still...
You can at least acknowledge it, can't you? And try and say, you know, obviously we need to educate him. I mean, to just sort of say, nothing to see here, is weird. I mean,
I know.
I don't think anyone's necessarily saying he is a racist, but that was a racist thing to do, and he needs to be sort of educated, you know?
I feel like that's such a problematic distinction, too, that, like,
it is.
You can say a racist thing, you can say, like, a xenophobic thing, and that doesn't make you a racist or you a bad person necessarily. Like, there are a lot of unintentionally non-malicious racist things that happen in my direction on a daily basis.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That I'm like, that sucks, but, like, I'm not going to judge you as a horrible person because, like, you just kind of didn't quite understand the problematic area there. And then, like, for Pep Guardiola, who's supposed to be, like, this intelligent, like, you know, enlightened guy to come out and be like, no, you guys are wrong.
Yeah. And he also made out like the media had made it into a massive thing. And I barely saw anything about it.
It's such a weird situation, isn't it? Especially with it being in the public eye, that people that sometimes when they are friends, they make those inappropriate jokes, or you get to a point where those kind of things are commonplace. But then to anyone outside, it's a very shocking thing where potentially you have had similar relationships in the past with people who are different ethnicities, gender, sexuality, whatever, where you get to know and have those jokes. But it's, especially on social media now, you have to be so careful, and it was just bizarre.
It's tone deaf, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, don't put that shit out, like, DM him that if you want.
If you're desperate to.
Or, like, whatever, like, yeah, like, if you really feel the need to make that joke, don't fucking put that in public. Like, we make fun of Ian for being old and bald and fat and looking like Phil Collins and unable to get an erection and being terrible with technology.
And that's fine, because none of those are protected characteristics.
Right, but that doesn't mean that we hate people who are old and bald and from the north who look like Phil Collins and don't quite understand technology and don't understand how to cook meat because they think that a grill, you know, works upside down or, you know, whatever the case may be. Like, that doesn't mean we hate those people. We just crack jokes at our friend Ian. Like, it's fine.
Trying to take this as a joke. Feeling personally attacked. That's a shame. It's a shame.
But anyway, good for Roma. More of this shit,
yes,
please.
More lifetime bans, please.
Less of this shit, sorry. Less of this shit to be necessary. Let's put it that way.
Agreed. Shall we talk football then?
Foosball!
Alright, well, let's make our way through the fixtures then. Starting off on the Saturday morning kickoff, we had Sheffield United 0, Liverpool 1, 1.2 to Sheffield on XG, and 2.0 to Liverpool. So, both of them underscoring by a goal, but a solid win for Liverpool. Did you guys catch this game? What did we think of Liverpool's performance here?
They didn't, I don't know, they didn't really seem to get going for quite a while. They were giving the ball away, like, a lot from the highlights I saw. But Sheffield, again, like, their style of play, Chris Wilder, like, he didn't try and shy away or do anything. They were solid defensively. They were looking good going forward, and they came close quite a few times. Matip was making quite a lot of errors early on and then kind of came into the game more, I think. Especially after comments this week from, like, Joe Gomez saying that he wants to play more and basically Matip should fuck off in subtext.
I think there were a lot of players like that, though, for Liverpool, because it was almost like they hadn't done their homework on Sheffield United. Like, they were really standing off them.
Yeah.
And letting them play. And I was like, you've seen that they've played 6 games now. Like, you should know what's going to go on. They're not going to just let you play. And but they really did seem to stand off them, and it took them a long time to sort of figure out, get proper sort of dominance over the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm remembering this correctly, but didn't they not have any shots in the first half?
It was certainly late on. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, it was late on.
On the flip side of that being that, like, to their credit, that they were still able to generate 2.4 of XG and score and win the match very late on. Like, they clearly adapted their game. Yeah, and they kept a clean sheet too, despite the 1.2 XG conceded. Like, they adapted to the match that did not start off well for them at all. It didn't look good. They looked like they were getting at least played even, if not getting played a bit off the pitch in the first half, and then it came out to a fairly comfortable win.
Eventually,
yeah. But yeah, it was a weird game, weird performance.
It was. Salah and Mane were both a bit wasteful as well in front of goal.
Yeah, and they didn't do much for fantasy players either, right, Stimmers?
No, I had Captain Salah, and our podcast team had Captain Mane. Yeah.
Who made that decision?
Well, I put it on there, and then I tweeted out, and no one other than Oscar corrected me, and that's not how this works. So,
right, you didn't do a captaincy poll.
I didn't, because we were still doing wildcard polls about half an hour before the deadline, so I just left it. It wasn't a terrible decision. He could have scored.
He could have scored.
Yeah. How many points do you get for could have scored?
That is the criteria for a good captain's choice, is he could have scored.
Who would you have... Oh, fuck off. It's...
Literally every player could have scored.
Yes. Okay.
Not Benteke.
Mane's expected goals must have been close to 1. He should have scored.
All right.
He did miss a couple of sitters.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. That was frustrating. Did he hit the post as well?
He did hit the post, yeah. We were so close to getting a good captaincy there. Anyway, we're not talking FPL yet.
We'll get there. All right, let's move on. There were a whole bunch of 10 a.m. matches. 6, which is more than usual. I didn't see any of them except for the Chelsea one, because the Chelsea one was not the, like, goal rush main feed, so I wasn't about to, like, watch only highlights of it. But the first one on my rundown here is Tottenham 2, Southampton 1. Tottenham down to 10 men, but still pulling out a win. And 1.2 to 1.2 on XG, so dead even. Perhaps Tottenham a bit lucky to walk away with all 3 points there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, despite Aurier and Lloris's best efforts.
Oh, God.
That was just a highlight reel of stupidityness. That was like... They should do... I mean, it should be a thing. There should be a Shacked in a Full for football, and those things would be highlights, especially, well, I mean, the Cruyff turn, or lack of Cruyff turn, was horrendous, but then the VAR celebration to then get sent off because of VAR, almost like some sort of cosmic justice and technology getting revenge.
Yeah. It's fair to say that Aurier's got that in him. I mean, fucking hell. What a moron.
And only a complete idiot would get him into any sort of fantasy team situation, because he is just an absolute wrecking ball of stupid. Like, it's your job. It's literally your job. Like, and you go diving in on someone for no reason and then just pull him back when you're a yellow card, or you try and do a Cruyff turn and miss the ball.
But to go back to Aurier's like second yellow card, that ball was just going into the corner. It was not even. Yeah, it wasn't even necessary. And you could say it was soft, and it might have been a little bit soft, but there was still just no need to do it whatsoever.
He seems very dumb.
Yeah. Dumb as rock.
Just full stop right there. And I'm very dumb, as Chuck alluded to, for bringing him into my draft team. I made every possible wrong decision this week. Yeah. I dropped Doherty for Aurier. I dropped Willian for someone else that also didn't do anything. I'm starting to forget. I'm still winning because, God bless Raf. Good week to be playing Raf. But yeah, poor Raf's team is like 90% injured players. But potentially Burnley of the week for Tottenham, I'm just going to throw out there because I just checked Kaylee's numbers and he has them at 1.3 to 1.7. So 1 goal less for them scoring and 1 goal less for Southampton should have scored. So a bit of a 2-goal swing in that direction. But not who I'm going to decide to award Burnley of the week to later on.
No, but, being down to 10 men as well, I thought something that got highlighted as well on Match of the Day was Kane was fantastic. Like, he was going for it again, and it was...
Yeah.
it was the Kane. Well, I say it's Kane of old, but this is the Kane we were kind of talking about like 3 weeks ago. When I remember Oscar, you saying like he had the most high intensity sprints and was traveling the most distance and having the shots and creating the chances again like Kane of old before his ankle injury, was it?
Yeah,
whatever it is he has
both
now.
ankles. 2 surgeries on the left, 1 on the right.
Yeah, and the runs they were making. I mean, it's even down to 10 men. You got Eriksen's son and Kane is still a pretty
specifically on that
one.
Kane goal was really good.
Oh, that was fantastic. That was like they were doing a 3-man weave in basketball. It was just the way they played it. It was just like a toss the ball, follow the ball, textbook. That was fantastic to watch.
We just watched Miracle again recently, the hockey movie about the U.S. team beating the Russia team, the Disney movie.
Right.
And they do like a 3-man weave drill in the movie, and I'm like, yes, I really love that kind of like cycling, fast-paced movement. It's very satisfying to watch. So that you mentioned a 3-man weave is just
and 2 basketball
lovely
references for you there this week. There you go, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Moving along, we had the clash of the bottom of the table W teams. Wolves 2, Watford 0. R.I.P. Watford.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Good lord.
I mean, they were a little bit unlucky in this one, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true. The XG had them at 0.9 to 0.9, Wolves plus the own goal. So Wolves good for their 2-0 with the 0.9 plus the own goal. Watford at 0.9 though, and not scoring.
Are they still... Because you said last week, Oscar, that Watford, on like the expected points, etc., are meant to be, about 12th, 13th, or something like that?
Yep.
Has it changed much since then? Are they still supposed to be good?
No, they're still in the definitively mid-table. The big thing for them, they've been horribly, horribly unlucky with their expected goals allowed. They are at 15 expected goals allowed and 20 actual goals allowed. So that is a massive, massive jump.
Oof.
5 more goals in only 7 matches, which I believe is the biggest difference between actual and expected for goals allowed in the league.
I mean, they've brought back Quique Sanchez Flores to shore up the defence. But I mean, when we picked, out of our pre-season predictions, right, one of the ones I can remember is the sack race one, like who's going to go first. And I highly doubt that anyone would have put the Watford manager and then in brackets afterwards, and second will be the other Watford manager. Like, I think if someone put that as a prediction, we could probably just give them the win.
Yeah, even if they got everything else completely wrong.
Yeah, I think...
Instant win, yeah.
Because to say just the Watford manager will get fired first, you're like, well, yeah, come on.
Okay.
Like, that's not really saying much. But to say the second manager to get fired will also be the Watford manager, that would be quite...
Wait, did he actually get fired? Did I miss that story?
No.
No.
Oh, okay.
You've got to be close.
Just speculating.
This is Watford we're talking about.
Yeah,
Watford
yeah.
that they had... when they got promoted, they had a manager for the season. They hired a new manager in the off-season. They fired him before the season started. Then they got another new manager, and they fired that manager in the middle of the season. So they don't fuck about.
No.
They
Bloody love a payoff.
Yeah.
Although, wasn't it Leeds that had 7 managers in one season, right, a few years back?
I don't know, did he get that far? Jesus.
Could be with like caretaker managers and stuff.
Yeah, interims
Sunderland,
and stuff, but still.
Sunderland had 3, if not 4, in a season, and that was in the Premier League.
Oof, I don't remember that. That's horrible.
Yeah, it was either their last year or their second to last year.
I don't miss them. Good riddance.
No, bye. But yeah, at the moment, if we look at the odds to be relegated, Watford are third, like tied third favourites to go down at this point.
Oh, blimey.
That's worth a shout, honestly. Like, no one would have had them preseason, but they're approaching it unrecoverable from territory. Even with expected having a mid-table, like, that's a big enough hole.
Yeah. I mean, they face Sheffield next. I mean, they will fancy it, without a doubt.
Absolutely. Sheffield have been pretty good. Like, we've talked about that a few weeks now.
Then Tottenham, Bournemouth, Chelsea. I mean, it's...
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm going to say... Wait, you said Sheffield United, Tottenham,
Yeah.
Bournemouth,
Yeah.
Chelsea.
Yeah.
Who's after Chelsea?
Norwich.
That's not good either.
And then Burnley.
Okay, I'm going to say Flores gets fired after the Norwich match.
Oh, God. Can you imagine?
I'm going to say they take 4 points out of that whole run.
Yeah, and then they get Walter Matsari back.
That'd be amazing.
Steve Bruce after Newcastle have fired him.
Oh, God. Oh.
Yeah, he's got to be on his way out here.
I think we'll get to Steve Bruce
Yeah.
after today.
Good Lord.
Nope.
All right. Well, we had Villa Burnley and we had Bournemouth West Ham, but I don't think anybody actually wants to talk about those 2-2 draws.
Oh, fuck it. I don't want to talk about Villa and Burnley. Something happened with VAR. Villa have had a lot of goals disallowed on VAR or just wrongly disallowed, like the one against Palace. And I'm surprised if their supporters haven't fired themselves by the end of the season.
You're just predicting large-scale firings everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Sackings, left, right, centre.
Well, speaking of Palace, Palace did put a 2-0 up against Norwich. 1.8 on XG to Palace, an actual 2-goal performance at home, Chuck.
Wow.
Against Norwich. Norwich were pretty good, too.
Does that make us the Burnley of the week?
It does not, no. Because you're performing your numbers, so that's the opposite of Burnley.
But we're not performing our numbers. That's overperforming what we do. We've scored 6 goals this year.
Yeah.
And we've got 11 points.
Was it a good match?
There's nothing to write home about.
Okay.
Whatsoever. It was Norwich. Ever since that, it's kind of like after the Lord Mayor's show a bit, I think, with Norwich. They had that fantastic result against City. And then, did they draw or lose to Burnley last week? They lost, didn't they?
They lost. It very much seems like there's away Norwich and home Norwich at the minute.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And away Norwich is bad.
People are saying Pookie on the bench when they're away now, which I think is dangerous, but...
It is dangerous, but they do seem to set up slightly differently when they're at home. They seem to be more direct and... Yeah, it does seem like 2 different teams, really. I think if Palace hadn't won, you'd have been disappointed.
Yeah, Chuck, you'll appreciate this, actually, speaking of, nothing to write home about. You know how Kaylee Graphics, when he posts the XG map, has, a 1-sentence summary of it? Being like...
Yeah, usually, that's a paddling.
Or, weird performance from Liverpool at home, blah, 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 whatever. For Palace Norwich, literally no caption. Just the map. Just the map, and then the next tweet.
Yeah,
so.
That's about right. It really wasn't monumental, other than the fact we finally got a Milivojevic penalty, and Andros Townsend got a goal, which is always nice. But I just think it's crazy. Another clean sheet. I think we've got the most clean sheets in the league now. I think.
Maybe.
I haven't looked at it because we played. There's 7 games played. We've conceded 7 goals, and 4 of those were in one game against Tottenham.
Yeah. So maths.
If you take out that Tottenham game, obviously I know you can tweak stats and whatever in this way, but then we've conceded 3 goals this season, effectively in 6 matches, which is the best defence that there is.
Start's getting good.
Mental, innit? We just need to score goals. I've said it before, we're just going to get absolutely rinsed for a striker in January.
And rinsed specifically by Chelsea. Chelsea 2, Brighton 0. Chelsea 3.2 plus a penalty on XG to Brighton 0.7. That is by far our best performance this season. And at home, which was nice.
The reverse Burnley of the week.
Absolutely the anti-Burnley of the week, yeah.
Underperforming, wasteful Chelsea.
By over 2 goals, yeah. That was Tammy, too. Tammy did waste a few chances.
Oh, what a fucking
Didn't.
He's a captain in my fantasy team. I was so
it's your
disappointed.
fault. Okay, thanks. That's your fault then.
Yeah, Chuck broke Tammy.
No, I'm beating you this week, Oscar.
Yeah, I've been in a definitive tailspin ever since I decided to take my first points hit of the season. I've then taken a points hit every week in the last 3 weeks and done worse than both of you guys in the last 3 weeks. But I don't want to talk about that right now. I want to talk about Chelsea, because we did good. First of all, Frank rotated midweek for the Carabao Cup, which was good, because I had been saying I didn't want him just running the same guys out all the time. The boys looked fresh on the weekend. We got a win at home. We got a clean sheet. And the best thing for me is that Callum is back. Mr. Hudson-Odoi.
Finally.
Yeah, good times. There's a bit of like a brouhaha on Chelsea Twitters over Pulisic and his minutes and his lack of minutes, more notably.
Yeah, what the fuck's going on?
I don't know. Maybe it must be something going on behind the scenes in training. I don't know. Frank said he's taking time to adjust to the country and the league. Unclear. Willian has been playing pretty well, though. And he seems to have a real affinity from Pedro, I think, just because they're basically the same age. So I don't know what that...
The only ones.
Yeah, exactly. But it's a good times. Good times continue at Chelsea. I'm happy. It was a good performance. We dominated from beginning to end. I mean, you don't get 3.3 or whatever it is on XG from... That's not a fluke. That was a solid win.
Yeah. Brighton had to sort of resort to fouling quite a lot to try and break up play. And yeah, I think it was pretty dominant, wasn't it? And
Callum coming on at the end. And Callum having the ridiculous Carabao Cup game.
Yeah, who is it you played?
Grimsby. Grimsby, which sounds like a rejected McDonald's character.
It was where that guy was from who said about British fish for British people. Or
Oh, yes, it was.
Yeah,
maybe that was
Grimsby.
it.
But yeah, good times at the Bridge. Not much comment other than it's nice to get a clean sheet. Nice to get a win at home.
I mean, 2-0, 3 point what? XG?
3.3 plus a pen.
Plus a
so
3.3 plus a pen.
Understat has it at 4.3.
Matt Ryan made 8 saves in that game.
Yeah, it was good. And from the anti-Burnley of the week, we move on to the Burnley of the week.
Burnley of the week.
Believe it or not, the Burnley of the week this week is Manchester City.
Bullshit.
Not for overperforming their numbers. They did generate 3.1 on XG and score 3, but they conceded 2.4 to Everton. Once again, their defense looking very suspect. So Everton won, Manchester City 3. A solid win on the scoreline, but 3.1 to 2.4 on XG. That is quite the overperformance defensively from Manchester City there.
This was a fun match to watch.
No. Brother. Yes.
Yes. Do you mean yes?
I meant yes. I meant the other one.
A lot of medicine going through
the
his system.
A lot of medicine. Yeah. Yeah.
So you were aggressively agreeing with me, is that?
I was aggressively agreeing with you, yeah.
Okay, good.
Exactly.
Yeah, Everton seemed to be really sort of pressing high up the field. They didn't want to let... Well, they tried not to let Man City out possession, just possession them out of the game. I mean, ultimately, that is what happened towards the end, but they had a go.
That's what Marco Silva does against all, the big teams, because he thinks...
Is it?
His teams are great. I'm sure it just sticks in my head that there's so many times that he thinks he's got such a good team and he can go toe-to-toe.
Right.
And I've said this for years, how can anyone say he's a good manager? There is literally no empirical evidence to show that he is a good manager. He went to Hull, he got relegated. He went to Watford, they were shit, he got fired. He's at Everton, he's just had 150 million quid spent on the squad, and they've lost 4 out of the last 5 games.
I mean, we've all been fired from Watford, so don't slag him off. But
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Everton are no good.
Everton and Watford, both of those managers should be worried. That's unless they get a serious upturn soon. They're just not getting out of that funk. And it's weird because they did have other chances, and it was just really bad decisions. There was that absolutely fantastic Iwobi pass that just lofted the City defence, and Sigurdsson had them done. He ran in behind, 1-on-1, and it looks like he was about to jump to head the ball, and then just second-guessed himself and kind of chickened out of it, because all he had to do, he didn't even really need to connect with the header that well at that point. He just had to lob Ederson, because Ederson was rushing out to get it. Yeah. And instead, he pulls his head back, and then, I don't even know what he tries to do. He tries to, control it, but sticks his leg out and then just loses it straight away. It was
Calvert-Lewin had a weird one with Ederson as well, where I think if it had just dinked, if it had just lifted it over him, and instead he sort of tried to pull it across, and then Ederson saved it in the end. But
I think he tried to lift it but didn't quite get enough, and Ederson lifted his leg to cover, he
and
knew
managed to get it,
to kind of get the right height.
Felt like he should have done better with that though.
And he'd already robbed that goal off Coleman, so...
Yeah, what's the XG on that? 0.99, I mean...
It is one of the biggest dots I've ever seen on an XG map. It's
because he was heading it when it was halfway over the line.
Yeah, so to be fair, you say Everton performed, that's one off, so they actually got 1.3 XG.
Well, you can still count it, but it's just sort of...
You can't count that. That is absolutely robbed. Like, yeah, the ball was curving a bit, but that looked like it was going to hit like the inside of the post and
it
go
feels like the
straight
XG
in.
should be counted from where Seamus Coleman hit it, like rather than
Even discounting that a certain amount, which like no actual shots are ever anywhere approaching one, because crazy shit happens. But like even with that, this is not like, are we still not worried about Man City because they won 3-1 or like that? Their defense question mark.
Yeah, I think it's the same.
Yeah, I think nothing's really changed. Like they scored enough goals to get them out of trouble, and I think Everton were wasteful enough to get them out of trouble. But I think there's still question marks. There's question marks over Liverpool's defence, so no one seems super solid other than Palace at the minute.
Yeah,
so there you go.
The boys.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we've conceded the same number of goals as Man City, and we've scored nowhere near as many. They now hold another...
So how many have you scored in the season?
Me personally,
no,
still more than Palace. We have scored 6 goals.
Okay, so Man City did more in one game.
3/4, yeah. So we've done 3/4 of a Watford. Man City now another record. They hold the record for the most goals after 7 games, which is 27. So averaging just shy of 4 goals a game, and I believe that's a record that they said has stood. It was 1800 and something, and funnily enough, it was Everton, I believe, that held the record before.
Brilliant.
So against Everton, they now become the highest scoring team after 7 goals.
Yep. And it's 27 scored and 24 on XG, so they're actually like genuinely performing that. Yeah. The second best XG team so far this season has been Chelsea on 15.1.
Mm-hmm. Because they know they can't defend. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Chelsea have scored 14 and conceded 13.
Right. Yeah, so we've generated 15.1 and Liverpool are 13.7. Those are the second and third best teams. And fucking City are at 24. Like...
Yep.
Speaking of scoring a lot of goals, the last match that has happened so far, because we are recording before United Arsenal, we should note, is Leicester 5, Newcastle 0, and the XG is even more embarrassing. Newcastle 0.05.
Howe 5. Oh my god. That's...
Jeez.
5 is an overperformance from Leicester. It was 1.9, so like that's quite a few more goals. But like 0.05, man, fuck you. Yeah. You deserve to lose.
I mean, they were down to 10 men and brought on Andy Carroll. To Leicester. I mean, Leicester have been good this season.
Leicester have been very good this season. Like, really good.
They're up in third for a reason. Like, they've just been consistent, and they've had some shakiness defensively, and like we said about Rodgers, but, teams like Tottenham, Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, if they... Like, Leicester could be taking their spots if they don't sort their shit out soon, and stop doing fucking Captain Raffles.
Captain Raffles.
Captain Raffles. They should have Captain Raffles. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, it's been, at least on the expected numbers so far, it's been obviously the top 2. And then United and Chelsea have pulled away a bit from the rest of the trailing pack. So like a second set of 2, and then below that it's Leicester, Tottenham, and Southampton, weirdly, which is just kind of goes to show early season effects. But like Leicester have been dead even with Tottenham and significantly better than Arsenal. But we'll probably talk more about that next week. We are going to be a little bit late on the podcast next week because I'm going to be at New York Comic Con. But with the international break coming up, we did want to like stop and really take stock of the league table. So we won't go into too many details, but it is worth noting that like Leicester are genuinely up there, ahead of the North London teams. Yeah,
and Newcastle are odds-on favourites to be relegated,
and rightly so.
Yeah, and so obviously that wraps up fixtures because originally Oscar wanted to record tomorrow just so we could talk about Man United, Arsenal. But both those teams are shit and irrelevant, so...
Chuck just insta-vetoed that.
Yeah, insta-nope.
Just refuses to talk about Man United this year. Man United are going to come in third places, and Chuck is going to be like, nah, they're shit. We're not talking about them.
Yeah, I said the same that year they came second under Mourinho. But they were shit that year as well. They're awful. Jesse Lingard's their only striker.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes tomorrow, because if there's one team they might be able to score on with Jesse Lingard as a striker, it is Arsenal's defense.
Could be a goal fest.
It's the opposite of an unstoppable force and an immovable object. It's like a very stoppable force and
versus a flaccid object.
Yeah, exactly. The flaccid object versus the lukewarm jelly. And on that note, we'll take a quick break. I'll take more cold medicine, and we'll come back. We have some listener stuff this week, so that's exciting. So come back.
Okay, welcome back to Miles Offside Podcast. We've spoken about the football. Now it's time for absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
But first, it's the Predictor League, the League of Predictions. I don't know. I'm not very inspired. Lyrics, brain. I don't know. I feel like by proxy, by speaking via Skype, I'm getting like a virus from Oscar. And it's just bringing me down a bit. But I'm second.
You're second.
I am second. Yes, that's right. In this topsy-turvy world of... I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you right now.
So is this one of those weeks where it counts because you're doing well?
Correct. Thank you, Oscar, for understanding the way it works, hence why. I mean, Ian, you told me earlier that you tried to look at it the other day and you couldn't because you didn't have editing privileges.
Yeah, I didn't.
And I'm just wondering if that's one of those things I deliberately set up because I'm like, no.
I seem to be view only.
Yes, and this way I can do whatever I want with it. But no, genuinely, I am second. Me and Sam Danby and Dave Matteo are all in joint second.
Tight.
And yeah, and so Oscar, you and Emily and Joe Bloom are tied in fifth.
Okay.
Momo FPL is top, but there's 4 points between all of us. And Ian 14th. 14th on 80 points. Oscar, you're on 70. I'm on 68. Finley's on 76. Looks like there's some serious beef going to be happening in the Stimson household. And propping up the table are Carmen and Jack Saunders on 86.
So for any listeners who don't know, this is a league. This is a game we started where you predict the 1 to 20 Premier League places, and then you don't want points, basically. You get points on how far away you were from the predictions. I mean, I need to look at mine and see who I should be rooting for now. It's getting bad now.
Yeah, we had that last year where your son was like Rain Man and could remember like...
Yeah, he would be watching... Yeah, we'd be watching a game and then a goal would go in and he'd be going, oh no, this is bad for my Predictor League. And I'm like... He was genuinely motivated by beating Oscar. Really was. It's bizarre, he's never even met you.
Yeah.
Seriously motivated. But anyway.
I understand why that scans. I mean, ultimately, Ian, neither you nor I should be rooting for Sheffield United.
Yes, that's the thing. I think I fucked up with them. I did not think they'd perform as well as they have been. I really didn't.
There's been one team every year because don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people that have Sheffield in like 20th or in the relegation zone for sure. And that was Wolves for a lot of people last year, specifically Oscar.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just an instant like 15 points or whatever it was.
And Man United too. I think I had Man United like pretty high up.
Yeah, we've all got Everton way too high. Apart from Oscar. Ostensibly at the minute, it almost looks like Oscar will win out of the three of us, but I started that off by being really excited about being in second, and now I'm depressed. So yeah, listener stuff.
Yeah. Well, Sam Danby wants to thank you for your food recommendations, basically, Oscar.
Oh, you're welcome, Sam.
Yeah.
Chuck's just getting in there saying you're welcome, yeah. And he wants to know why has no one in New York heard of Smack and Cheese?
I mean, anyone who's ever met me has heard of Smack.
Yeah, I mean, before we even did that episode, you'd mentioned it to me a few times.
I think before we ever even recorded the first episode of this podcast, I had mentioned it. Right? I took you there before we were...
That was the summer before we started.
Yeah.
They should be paying you a commission on this basis.
Absolutely.
They should be. We'll get in touch. We'll at Sarita or something. I don't know. Maybe they can post me some mac and cheese. Yeah, I'll take it.
You can get it actually delivered internationally. I'm not even kidding. They send it over frozen, and then you can cook it at home in your own oven. It tells you what temperature and how long to cook it for.
Why are you only telling us this now?
Okay, sorry guys, I'm busy.
Yeah. I'm definitely doing that.
I'm sure it's $900, but...
yeah.
So, Rita's mac and cheese.
And apparently, if I try to send stuff to Peterborough, it accidentally ends up in Australia.
Yeah.
Like young Finley's comic book, so... Which I followed up on that, and their answer was, shrug. So I guess we just hope it gets there eventually. But...
Just a shrug emoji. That's what the US Postal Service sent
exactly.
you.
No, they said we can't provide international shipping once it's past customs somewhere else. So the last they know is it was in Australia.
Why is it going via Australia?
I have no idea.
Okay, right. So basically, Dave, can you just go to the post office and find this comic book, please?
Yeah, Australia's not big. There's one post office. Just go there, and if you could get this comic for my son, that'd be great. Fucking what is it doing in Australia? Anyway, less of that. Sam Danby also asks, what's the point of one Premier League game on a Sunday?
To watch Newcastle get embarrassed.
Yeah. But yeah, Leicester did their best to make a spectacle of it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I suppose at least like if it had been like a 0-0, that would have just been the biggest wet fart in the world.
yeah. But who scheduled that? I mean, God, one game on the Sunday. I bet Sky were delighted when they saw Leicester Newcastle. Fucking hell.
Yeah, why would they only do one?
I don't know. Seems like
Maybe because they just didn't want to put any of the others on telly.
Well, yeah, we did say when we went through the fixtures, we did say I think they did well getting Everton Man City on telly because that was one of the only decent matches to watch, I think. But yeah, they should never do that again. Terrible. And he also asks, what's your favourite day of the week and why?
Ooh, that's a good question. See, the obvious answer is like Friday. Oh, Friday. But like, fuck you. Yeah, like that's,
Immediately revolts against the obvious answer.
Yeah. I feel like I want to say like Wednesday.
Wednesday?
Yeah, it's like really nicely symmetrical. Like it's a day that starts with W, which is a symmetrical letter, and it's the middle of the week. Plus, I have my best friend's name is Mike, and I don't know if you guys get the same Geico commercials over there, but over here there was a commercial where a camel just walked around saying, "Do you guys know what day it is? Do you know what day it is? Hump day!" Because in America, Wednesday we call hump day because it's like, you get over the hump and now you're almost at the weekend. And he was just like, Mike. Hey, Mike. Do you know what day it is? Mike. Hump day. So I just like call him and leave him a voicemail fairly often on Wednesdays. So I just get really excited for Wednesday because I can just like annoy the shit out of my best friend.
Chuck, where do we get some of this medicine?
Yeah. Yeah, can we get this posted with the smack, please?
Yeah.
Maybe it is smack. Maybe that's what it was.
Okay.
Yeah. Mike.
Hump day.
Chuck, you got a favourite day of the week?
Well, I guess Wednesday is actually, kind of mine. I mean, because that's like my day off.
So. Oh, is that daddy-daughter day?
That's daddy-daughter day. We get to go do things. Sometimes we go swimming. Sometimes we go to the park. A lot of the times we just sit at home in our pants and watch football and eat ice cream.
Nice.
Because, I don't know, it used to be Sunday because Sunday is just a great day because no one should have to do anything. Like, everything should be shut. You should just have to stay indoors. If you haven't bought food, like, tough. Starve.
Never mind.
Nothing. Shouldn't be nothing. Not even one Premier League game. Just fuck it all off. They turn everything off, all the outside world stuff, and you just do nothing. And that should be what Sundays are about. Just to recharge you and just to appreciate the things that we have in life. But now I work in a pub and Sunday roast, innit? So it's like well busy and I never get Sundays off, so fuck them. But we record on a Sunday, so
That's perked Sunday up a bit for me, the Sunday record, to be honest, because
the Sunday roast is getting you down.
Well, this Sunday roast got me down, fucking hell. But, there's sort of, certainly towards the end of Sunday, you're like, oh shit, I've got to iron school uniform, sort out PE kit, all that sort of shit. It's just getting ready for the fucking week again. Right. Our Australian, Dave Mateo, he's got a question. You can only have one crisp flavour for the rest of your life. What do you pick?
Can it be any kind of crisp in
Well,
that
this is the thing, because I don't know what it's like in the States, but in this country you have like 3 basic flavours of crisps: ready salted, cheese and onion, salt and vinegar. Now, obviously there's others, but those are your 3 basic that every brand pretty much does.
Is crisp like specifically like potato chips?
Specifically. Yeah, basically.
Okay, not like I couldn't say like a Doritos. That would be like a chip.
Oh, no, that counts.
Yeah, that counts. That's fine.
That counts as a crisp.
Does it?
Doritos, yeah.
Okay, because here potato chips and like other chips are kind of thought of as like 2 different things. Like if someone said, "What's your favorite chips?" I would say Doritos. But if someone said, "What's your favorite potato chip flavor?" that would be like a different question.
Yeah, we don't really specify that much, to be honest. It's just crisps are crisps. That's Doritos, normal potato chips, whatever.
Red Doritos all day.
Red Doritos aren't the same.
Cheese, nacho cheese flavor.
Yeah.
See, over here, that's like chili heat wave, isn't it?
Yeah, and they are banging.
Yeah,
They
I
are
love
good.
them. Yeah.
Although for potato chips, I would say sour cream and onion.
Sour cream and onion's quite good.
That's like my go-to when I'm in like if I get Pringles, I'm getting sour cream and onion Pringles.
Yeah, they're good.
Ah, right. See, I like more acidic flavours. So I do like salt and vinegar. I do like prawn cracktail. Prawn cracktail. There you go. That's what Oscar's on at the minute. Chili heat wave. They're good. I think probably the flavour of crisps that I've gone most crazy about, and the specific brand, is Ruffles sour cream and cheddar.
Oh, those are good.
Those are good. They're like crinkle... Ian, they're like crinkle crisps.
Okay.
Massive, obviously the American one, so massive bag, not a multi-pack, just a massive bag.
Just a huge bag.
And like, you know how sometimes you get cheddar or cheese crisps, sometimes you get sour cream. You combine the 2.
Do you guys have Munchies cheese fix over there? It's like a pre-made mix. It's my favorite snack, but I wouldn't think it would be fair to call it like...
It's a mix. So far, all you've said is it's a mix. Like,
yeah, so...
Do you mean as in a mix of snacks?
No, so you get it in one bag, and it's like its own brand. It's like Munchies Cheese Fix is the name of the bag, and inside it has classic cheese Dorito flavor. It has Cheetos. It has pretzels,
yeah, I know what you
and
mean.
it has like Sun Chips, and they're all mixed up together in the same bag.
They're
So
all
like
like
that-
a cheese. They're all cheese flavour.
No. It's like regular pretzel, like
okay.
little mini pretzels. Sun Chips, which I don't even know what flavor Sun Chips are, honestly. Just like salty grain. And then Cheetos and red Doritos. And you get every handful is different. Depends on what you grab.
Yeah, they did that for a little while here. I don't know if it's still doing, but they did like mix-ups where it was like different.
Yeah, vaguely
It was like
remember that.
Monster Munch and French fries and What's-Its and Doritos. And the flavours kind of complemented each other a
Yeah,
bit.
exactly.
Right.
It's like if you just took 4 bags of chips and then just poured them into the same bowl.
Uh-huh.
It's party
Yeah.
mix.
Which in some ways is good, but in other ways, I don't know. Because sometimes
Yeah,
you're only...
I don't like the surprise element.
Well, it's not... You don't have to do it blindfold.
Right, okay, yeah.
You can look at the crisp.
I can look at them. Okay.
But yeah, sometimes the texture is... But I'm going to go... no, I don't want to choose.
What about the...
Spicy.
What?
Just spicy flavour.
Just
It covers
spicy,
many.
spicy anything. I like the McCoy's spicy meat ones. They do like a... I don't know, it's like a Thai chicken or something. It's really good.
That was a good flavour.
Yeah.
I'm suspicious of that. I don't know what that is, but it sounds gross.
No, it's like a chili... It's like a chili chicken. Like a chili chicken flavour, but it's salty and... Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Thai sweet chicken or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And then they started doing some Doritos that were like made of rice and stuff, and they're like fusion ones that they're really good flavours. But obviously,
Okay.
Oscar, you're pulling faces because you don't like
Everything
any
I
sort
ever
of
hear about
Asian
like...
food.
No, I love Asian food. Don't like
I mean, you
Indian
hate
food.
Indian food, right? Where's India?
East Asian food, sorry. Here, we weirdly classify Indian food as a separate thing from Asian food. Like, Asian food would mean, like, Chinese, Thai, Japanese.
Right, yeah.
So, like, East Asia. Or Southeast Asia, also, I guess. But Indian food, because it's a completely different flavor profile, too. Like, I've always wanted, I've never found, but I wish this existed, a spicy teriyaki chip. I would eat the shit out of that.
I mean, teriyaki's just syrup, really, isn't it?
Well, no,
just
it's a
sugar.
flavor, though. Like, Like, you can have teriyaki flavored things that aren't, like, covered in sauce.
It always just seems like a sort of sugary soy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ginger, wine, soy sauce.
Yeah.
And then, like, you boil it
Vinegar.
up together. Yeah.
And yeah, that's about it. Ian, do you remember that when they did Monster Munch? They have Monster Munch in the States, right? It's slightly different.
I don't know. I've never heard of it, but it might be here. It's a big fucking country, so I'm sure that it's somewhere.
Big fucking country. They did, obviously we can move on to like a weird flavour. At one point they did vanilla ice cream flavour.
Oh, no.
Do you remember that?
Oh, no. No, I don't remember that, but that sounds awful. That sounds like a hate crime.
I don't approve.
It was an absolute mindfuck. I was about 13.
Especially when, like, the well-known flavour of Monster Munch is pickled onion, is it not?
Pickled onion, roast beef.
yeah.
Ugh.
Pickled onion, roast beef, flaming hot. At one point there was a spaghetti something.
Was that like a tomato-y sort of
yeah.
thing? Ugh, no.
I worry for your country. Your chip flavors are fucking
people
horrible.
in glass houses, dude.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, they did a limited edition vanilla ice cream flavour that ostensibly isn't that bad because, well, no, it is bad, sorry. On the surface, that's ridiculous. But you taste it and you're like, yeah, okay, it does taste of vanilla ice cream. And obviously vanilla ice cream is nice, right? But then you realise it's crunchy maize snack. And it was just, yeah, absolute mindfuck.
Awful.
Even 13-year-old me couldn't get on board.
I'm pretty boring when it comes to, like, chips and snacks, though. I just like your classic, salt, sour cream and cheddar, sour cream and onion, cheesy flavor. Did you guys have we talked about 3D Doritos? I feel like that's come up on the pod before.
No,
or
I don't
in person.
think so.
Don't remember.
We had, for a while there in the 90s, when everything was, like, super extreme, we had these Doritos that were, like, almost like ravioli shaped.
Yeah.
And they were hollow on the inside, and then they would inject them with the Cheeto dust. Like the cheese dust, and so when you bit into it, it would like...
Jesus.
It was like not a gusher. Like, there was like... You guys have gushers over there also?
No, that means something else.
It means the same thing there, but...
Yeah. We have a candy that's like fruit gushers, where you just like... It's a chewy fruit candy, but then
How
there's
have
like
you
little
seen my
syrup
search
inside.
history?
Yeah. It was like that, but for cheese dust, and it was... Even I was like, this is too much. So they stopped making those, but 3D Doritos were like aggressively dusty. Because you would bite into it and like a cloud of like cheese dust would like attack the back of your throat.
What about Frazzles, Chuck? I mean, that feels like a...
I feel like you're making up half of these names.
No, Frazzles are like a streaky bacon, really cheap, like crisp.
Frazzles, they come in like really small bags. They're
Yeah.
the ones that are usually... Well, I don't know anymore what anything costs.
No.
But they'd be like... When you were young, that would be like when you go past a shop, you could get those for like 10p. So
Yeah.
you'd buy like 5 bags of them. And they're like crinkly, they're shaped like they're rectangular. They have like red lines on, like it's streaky bacon, and they're bacon flavoured.
Oh, but they're not made of bacon.
No.
No,
they're
no.
like-
Okay, I was picturing
It's
like...
bacon flavour.
You guys love some meat-flavored chips, and it's fucking weird. That's not a thing over here.
It's true, actually. There is a lot of... And if it's not meat flavoured, it's like flavoured like the seasoning or whatever that comes with it.
Yeah.
And when Finley was young, the first crisps like kids eat are like these Pom
Bears.
Bears things, yeah, which are just salty bear shapes. I mean, I ate the fuck out of them. Like, he never got
I've got
near
back
them.
downstairs now.
Lovely old job.
And they're shaped like little teddy bears, Oscar.
Oh, they're delicious.
We have gummy bears, but they're sweet.
No. See, these are like really nice crisps, and you eat the feet first, and then you eat the arms, and then the ears, and then the body, and then just the head.
I would eat the head first, for sure. Put him out of its
No,
misery.
because you want the bear to suffer.
Yeah. Very different approaches right there. I feel like this is where we differ the most, is in snacks. Like, everywhere else, like, I vaguely understand where you guys are coming. Like, that's kind of different, but okay, fine. British people, American people. And then you guys tell me about your fucking snacks, whether it's candy bars or chips or crisps or... And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with your country? All of this sounds fucking horrific.
as a base of what we do, I think that there's a lot of truth in that they do come from very different. Because I remember when I was a kid and going to America, there were all these different, everything was so different. And now the difference is that we get a hell of a lot more things over from America than probably America does.
Yeah, I don't think it goes the other way.
Like, percentage-wise, there's no chance it's the same. So we get to now like see those kind of things and have more variety.
I bet Oscar's never had a scampi fry. Ooh.
Oh, love a scampi fry.
Stop making seafood flavor snacks.
Oh, a little bit of fish dust on your hands. That's lovely. That's what everyone wants.
Fingers stink for weeks.
Yeah, all the ladies like that.
Ladies love stinky fingers.
We're bordering on Gushers territory now.
I think we've lost track.
We've lost track for sure.
It was the actions that you did. I didn't require that.
You prick. Have we got more questions? I never thought after 62 episodes we'd get to stinky fingers.
Come on, it was a very innocent question about whether you enjoyed the scampi fry.
You knew what you were doing with scampi fries. Scampi knickknacks.
Love a scampi fry. He's nearly gone.
No, I got it. I saved
he swallowed.
Of course I did. I'm a gentleman.
It's taking a turn. Adam P. This is weird. You have to replace all your taps so they no longer produce water. What liquid do you choose to replace it with? Bear in mind, you have to drink, shower, and wash dishes with whatever liquid you choose.
Wow, that's
next level, isn't it?
That's a hell of a question. Yeah. So you don't want something that's. I feel like the really like deciding factor here is the shower, right? Because you don't want to be sticky.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Takes out a lot of.
And you don't want anything that'll like burn your eyes.
Sparkling water.
Yeah, does that count? I feel like that's just water. It's just with bubbles in it.
Nah, it's different. Don't ask me how it's different.
But for the purposes of this question, it's different.
Yeah.
Or do you just fucking lean into it and you're like, all right, I guess I'm just the sticky I'm like the soda guy now.
I'm just sticky guy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Anything you're going to drink is going to have some sort of...
Especially
sugar.
In America, it'll have sugar in it. It's all just corn syrup with different food coloring.
And he said this is like everything. It's all that comes out your taps.
Yeah.
I don't care about brushing my teeth and cooking. That's fine. It's the showering.
What? So you could... Hang on. So you don't care about cooking. So let's say you replaced your water with Pepsi. You would just make pasta in Pepsi.
I would just learn to live with like Pepsi flavored everything. Fine. I feel like I could get over that. Plus, you don't have to cook with like... I guess... How much do we have to like stick to the spirit of his question versus what he actually said? Because I could just go out and buy bottled water and then shower with that. Yeah, I got no answer for this. This is a weird fucking question.
Right, so let's think about it. So what do you do with your taps? So you get up in the morning and you go, oh, what about flushing your toilet?
That's fine. I mean, nothing...
Are you flushing the toilet with the same thing?
Yeah, sure.
So all your water's just changed?
All the water.
So you got to do something that could be like quite nice smelling as well, because then, you know...
I feel like you don't want anything too fizzy. It's got to be like a juice.
Why? Because then every time you flush the toilet, it'll just...
Exactly, yeah. You don't want your poop coming back out onto the kitchen floor or the bathroom floor.
Oh yeah, that'd be disastrous.
What's it a kitchen floor? Yeah. Where the fuck are you shitting?
Oh, that's your first problem.
Yeah. Wait, am I doing it wrong?
Oh, the next people who move into your apartment after you are going to be... Oh, they're going to be in trouble.
Just luckily in America, they've got trash disposal systems in the sinks.
I don't like this question. I just don't like this. Adam, you suck.
You fucking dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's on you, Adam. What the fuck would you choose?
Yeah, is there even an answer to this?
I don't think there's an answer to
There's
this.
no answer to this. I'm going to say soy sauce. Why not?
No.
God.
Oh, imagine showering in that.
I would just shower at the gym from now on.
Being far too practical about this.
No, what do you mean being practical about this? I will go somewhere else to have a shower.
Or shower in fucking soy sauce? That's the only other option.
No, you chose soy sauce. You just said that. You just said that.
Yeah. Okay, Tap's producing wine, shower at the gym. Lovely.
Yeah, it's just get drunk and
You can cook with a lot of things with wine, too. You make like a wine reduction on anything.
Ian can, yeah. If he remembers to turn the right bit of his
Yeah,
oven on.
Ian is like heavy cream. Duh.
Oh, shit.
No, don't do double cream.
Oh, milk. Milk.
No,
you can shower with
no.
milk. It doesn't leave you sticky.
No, you can't. Yes, it does. Yes, it
No, I
does.
feel like you
And
might be
then
on something.
No,
Absolutely
people
not,
do milk
because-
baths and shit.
Yeah.
That's literally a thing.
Cleopatra used to bath in milk.
All right, and if you don't dry yourself off properly, what happens is that milk dries in places, the friction happens, and you just end up with curdled milk all over your fucking body and in your armpits.
Now I'm making my own cheese. There you go.
Win-win.
Literal from under cheese.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah, milk. I'm going milk.
You're fucking...
What's your fucking answer that's better than milk?
How is it with brushing your teeth? No.
It's a basic substance, so it'll like neutralize the
Probably
acids on your
right.
teeth.
Calcium.
Yeah, it's good for you.
Cow's milk?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not human
Donkey
milk.
Other kinds of milk are... Oh, you say that as if there are no other kinds of milk. It's camel's
was
milk.
just-
He said earlier about Mike, maybe he wants that camel's milk.
Oh, I thought you were going like human milk. I was like, that's
Breast
no.
milk.
Oh.
Yeah,
God.
and all your taps become boobs.
Okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
All right,
and
I'm
then
in.
You need
Done.
to go like...
There we go. All right, we got there between the two of us. I got milk, you got boobs.
Yeah, with
Done
no
and
help
done.
from you, Adam.
Or Ian. I guess he was the inspiration with the heavy cream.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there we go. The gout helped.
All right, we got there. Took 20 minutes, but we got there. Oh, my wife did have a question. She didn't write it in. She just told me to ask it.
Okay.
I forget how she phrased it exactly, but the idea was like...
Is it why doesn't Oscar talk to me anymore?
No, we pay a therapist for that. Kidding, our marriage is in great shape. Great shape.
Oh, it was until you said that sentence. Now we're all questioning it.
What movie have you seen the most times that you don't actually care about or would defend to anyone who was like, why have you seen that 40 times? So, like, okay, so for example, like, I've seen Star Wars a million times, but, like, I love Star Wars. I defend Star Wars. I think Star Wars is great. But there are plenty of movies that I've seen, like, 7 times, 10 times, that I'm just like, I don't actually care about this movie. So it's not a guilty pleasure particularly either.
I presume it doesn't count like kids' films that I've been forced to see 30, 40 times
Yes,
as
that
he was growing
you've
up.
chosen to see.
Okay, good. Because I've seen Cars way too many times.
I love Cars.
Cars is
Yeah,
good.
Cars
I
is
love
fine, but
Cars.
it's not a great kids' film.
What you need to remember, Oscar, is that when you watch films with kids, is you don't really sit down and watch a whole film. It's just that film keeps them quiet for 20 minutes. And so you just watch the first 20 minutes over and over and over and over again. Sort of like one Christmas where we put on Frozen to keep my niece quiet. And I think she was about 2 or 3 at the time. And she lost interest after about 15 minutes. And then after about another 45, we realised my niece wasn't watching it, and it was just me, my dad, and my brother-in-law had been sitting watching Frozen.
Three grown men.
Yeah.
I've seen Madagascar 2 a bunch of times for that exact reason with my nephews. Where we just put it on and then they fuck off after 5 minutes. They're running around, like, hitting each other with, lightsabers or whatever. And then the adults are sitting there being like, Madagascar 2 again, huh? All right.
Have you ever seen Cars 2?
I've seen all of the Cars movies. Cars 2 is horrible.
It's horrifically bad.
Cars 3 is fine. But I defend Cars 1. This is the opposite of this question, but I defend Cars 1. I think it's like a top 5 Pixar movie. I really, really like Cars 1.
I'm not sure about that, but it's serviceable. But Cars 2 is terrible. I mean, Cars 2's got an industrial espionage plot that I struggled with.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how can
What
a
are you
kid
doing?
expect to follow this?
Yeah. Cars 1 I would put even with like WALL-E or Finding Nemo.
Oh, no, I'm not sure about that. I'm not
Below
sure.
the Toy Stories, obviously, but like,
Yeah.
that second tier of Pixar.
I assume you've seen Toy Story 4.
Oh yeah.
What did you think?
Cried my eyes out.
Really?
Like a normal human being with a heart.
There weren't enough laughs in it for me. I didn't think it was. I thought it was a bit dull, and I
Are
questioned.
you kidding?
Yeah, no, I didn't think there
The,
was.
the little, I'm trash guy was so fucking funny.
Yeah.
It was like a Toy Story for millennials. I fucking died.
It was a fucking spork, man.
Yeah, it was
a
so
fucking
funny.
spork. No.
Full of existential dread and self-doubt.
And fucking ventriloquist dolls. Fuck that.
Yeah, that
I'm
was
not
weird.
watching
I didn't
film.
like that. I like Toy Story 4 quite a lot.
And I questioned Woody's decision at the end as well. I don't think he'd do that. But anyway.
No spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what was the question?
So what have you seen a lot that you like weirdly enjoy but don't think anyone else should bother to watch or care about or would defend? Here, I'll go.
Go on.
Mine is Dude, Where's My Car? I don't think it's a good movie. I don't know why, but I've seen it like 20 times. Just kind of happened. And I fucking love it, but like I would never tell anyone else to bother watching it.
Zoltan.
Yeah, Zoltan, exactly. I've watched that movie way more times than I think I realize.
Mine, well, I don't know. It's tough because I've seen this film probably more than any other film, and it is my favourite film of all time. I think categorically, if someone asks, it is. So, in some ways, I can defend it because I do love it, but in other ways, I can't because it is fundamentally bad, which is Drop Dead Fred. Which was from like 1990. Well, it was the year I was born. It was 1991. The late great Rick Mayall and Phoebe Cates and a load of other people as well. Like Carrie Fisher's in it, fucking Princess Leia.
Yes, I know who Carrie Fisher is.
Yeah, some people might not. Dick Chicken. And yeah, it was just a film that, because of Rick Mayall, like my sister loved it, and then she sat down and made me watch it when I was a kid, and I've probably watched it once a year at least for the last 25 years.
And that's your favorite movie of all time?
My favourite movie of all time, categorically, yes.
And you wonder why we call you a hipster.
What do you mean? How does that make me a hipster?
Your favorite movie of all time is a movie that you admit isn't even good.
No,
you're like,
because
it's a bad movie, but it's my favorite movie of all time.
No, like, I can see how, in terms of, like, filmmaking and stuff, like, there's many bits where, like, you can see the microphone come down, like, on the top, and,
Boom
like,
in.
some other mistakes and stuff like that. And, you know, the plot is, you know, this woman who, as a kid, she had an imaginary friend that she did loads of, like, naughty stuff with, and then when she's an adult, she gets, like, divorced, fired, and has a car stolen in the space of one day, so then goes into some sort of existential crisis, which means that the imaginary friend comes back, and then the havoc all ensues again. And it's just really weird. And another podcast that some people might have listened to, which is How Did This Get Made, which is done by Paul Scheer and Jason Mantzoukas and June Diane Raphael, who were all like in the league. And
yep, and Paul Scheer and June are married.
Paul Scheer and June are married. Like
Rafi is just the funniest person.
Indeed, he's like the most animated, perfect speaking person.
Yeah,
it's
great
fantastic,
podcast.
Apart from Emoji Movie, and they did it a little while ago, and it was great for me to listen to and hear people speak at length about something that is such a dear film to my heart, and I love, and I cry at the end every single fucking time.
There you go.
Brilliant.
And it's great, and I won't defend it, and Star Wars is shit.
Stimmers, are you like, oh, Charlie Chaplin's first silent film, really,
The Great Dictator.
See, again, Chuck comes in with a reference that you would not expect someone in their late 20s to know. Jesus Christ. I don't know. A film I've watched a lot. I've watched Independence Day a ton. But,
Ugh.
yeah, I don't... But the thing is, right,
yeah, you're not even American. What's your excuse?
I know, but, like, when did that film come out? Like, 97?
97, 98, 97, I
Yeah.
think.
So I was, like, 13, 14, and I, like, distinctly remember, like, watching it and going, well, this is it. Like, film effects cannot get any better. And then you watch it now, and it's like, Jesus Christ.
Nah, it holds up pretty well. Because a lot of it was miniature models. It's not CGI too much.
It holds up okay, but like it just showed me how stupid I was when I was 13. Like,
Oh,
just
sure,
like,
yeah.
This is it. Like, you know, films are never going to get any better, like CGI wise. And then you watch it
That
back
held the
and you're like,
record for the most expensive movie ever made for a long time.
Did it?
Yeah. It blew it out of the water when it came out. All the wall of fire effects and like destroying the little miniature model cities and the shadow effect. I am obsessed with that movie. I've seen it a million times.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't think it's bad. Like, I genuinely just like it, but I'm American, so like, you know, that speech is like, yeah, America. We watch it every 4th of July.
Something about Will Smith. Yeah.
The shadow effect when the ships are moving in over the cities was like as expensive as the entire budget of other like major blockbusters that year. For whatever reason, that was like super expensive. That's cool that you like that movie though. That's weird. Like it's usually just Americans. Like, did you watch the horrible sequel?
No.
Oh god, it came out like 5 years ago. 4 years ago?
Okay. Oh yeah, of course it did. Yeah, no, I never saw it. No.
It's really bad. Barely enjoyable. It's so bad.
Independence Day, more independent.
Yeah. And then, of course, they raided Area 51 like a week ago. So I'm sure they'll be making another sequel based on that. Did you guys miss that? Do you know what the hell I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Facebook event that was created to storm Area 51.
Storm Area 51, they can't stop all of us. And like 5 million people responded attending. And then like 30 people actually showed up, but there was like, it got a bunch of news coverage.
Because they realised like you have to get to like the middle of the desert.
Yeah, all of them were like, if we do you guys watch the anime, the Naruto show? They were like, if we do the
it's everywhere.
You know the anime run where like you lean forward and hold your arms behind your back and then you just like...
Yeah.
They were like, if we all do a Naruto run at Area 51, the whole government can't stop us. So a bunch of guys just like actually showed up.
It turned out that one bloke got arrested and it was for urinating on the fence or something.
That's right. Yeah.
Anyway, that's all the listener stroke wife stuff. So...
Stroke wife?
No, come on, don't be coarse.
Sorry, smelly fingers.
Come on, we've gone beyond Scampy Fries.
It's a family show.
There are times when I've had to go, Finley, just go out the room.
Yeah, but that's not when we're recording.
Yeah,
that's just
generally
just live.
Right, let's talk about our FPL team.
Why?
Because we crowdsourced it on a wild card.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I didn't agree with like half of the things.
That's not the point of this.
That's what democracy is.
That's not the point of this.
Compromise. Apart from Brexit.
Yeah, 3 years from now we'll still be arguing about this.
Yeah. But we actually did it.
Exactly. We followed through.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But we didn't have a great week.
No deal wild card?
Exactly, yeah. We ended on 46. Captain Mane, as we've briefly discussed. None of our strikers returned. We've got Pookie, Abraham, Aguero. But generally, I'm pretty happy with the
got
team.
An assist.
Why have we still got Pookie?
We had some value tied up, and I thought the poll for that came out that we had to stay in the Pookie party.
Yeah, I thought we just weren't going to listen to all of it, to be honest.
And Aguero did get an assist, so he didn't not return.
Assist off the bench.
Yeah, off the bench. Yeah.
It's a shame, actually. We didn't mention that because he'd scored in every single game so far, hadn't he?
Yeah,
He'd scored, and so I thought maybe they'd let him and try and get the Jamie Vardy record or something.
But
then they got his.
I mean, I look at it and I prefer the podcast team to my own team. I think they've done pretty well, to be honest.
Well, we're doing all right. Like, what are we on? 406 points at the minute. I mean, we don't have any Man United or Arsenal players. Standard.
Yeah, it's about like 450,000th in the world. It's pootling along fine.
Yeah, it's that we're almost at like 60 points a week.
Yeah, it's not bad. So have you gents got any suggestions for what we do this week?
Well, don't let you do the team.
Fuck off, there's nothing wrong with this.
Because whenever you do the team, it doesn't, like, we do bad.
My captain choices have not been good lately. Granted.
No, so maybe you should just not.
We'll do a captain poll properly this week. It was just because there was a lot, yeah.
I would say Mane to, like, maybe Son.
No.
Mane to Son.
I don't love Mane as a pick.
That's too sideways. Why? He's great.
Because Mane is 2.0 more expensive than Son.
Yeah.
11.6 to like 9.5. You could free that up and then upgrade many other places.
If you got it, flaunt it. You know, splash that cash.
And we have. Team value's better than mine.
101.
So your choice would be Mane to Son.
Yeah. Free up the funds.
Chuck, you got anything?
We've actually got some alright fixtures coming up across the team. Obviously, we just wildcarded, so it does seem a bit strange to change anything, really. We've got 3 Chelsea players, and they've got a good run of games, so that's all good. We've got 3 Man City players.
Yep.
That's fine. I still want Firmino, but can't happen. Pookie's playing Villa, and Norwich are at home. I'm gonna say no transfer.
I agree. I was going to say
you
roll
can't.
it.
You can't.
Oh,
I picked
fuck
no
off.
transfer.
What, I've got to nominate a transfer I don't want to do?
Well, that's it. It's sometimes in democracy you don't get the outcome you want, and you have to put something forward because someone told you that's what you have to do because they already took your answer.
I'm just saying, if we do Mane to Son, that frees up enough funds to do Pookie to Firmino. You who want Firmino so bad, there's your money right there.
But then we're just...
Well, do that over the course of 2 weeks. Obviously, don't take a points hit for that. But...
No.
Okay, well, let's just say that. We'll do a straight two-way poll. Mane to Son or roll the transfer. That's what we'll do.
All right.
You're not happy. And then we'll...
No, I'm fine. But I just thought maybe we'd have another suggestion. But fine, Ian.
That's I'm fine the way my mom used to say, I'm fine.
Yeah,
it's
really,
fine.
well, it was so loaded, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
I'm living inside your mind.
Well, I've known that for a while.
Yeah. And also, because obviously the reason we started this team was because of this podcast expert, something league, which is organised by the FPL Roundtable guys, and we're fifth. So
We are fifth. They gave us some love on their podcast recently. So
yeah, but they gave us some shit at the start.
Yeah, but to be fair, they said that we've
That
turned it
fucking
around.
guy Gabe, and now he's like 3 points ahead of us.
No, we've been doing well. If I come up with something, I'll put it on the Twitters. But at the minute, I can't think of anything beyond rolling a transfer because it looks good. I'm jealous of this team.
Yeah, it does look good.
I'm happy with it, which means we'll get 30 points this week.
Yeah, well, 46 off the back of a wild card isn't great, is it?
Bad week for everybody, though, except you, Stimmers. You're fucking closing the gap on me. You're like actually starting to catch up.
Yeah, and you'll hear all about that on Stimmer's very, I'm going to say, streamlined now.
Yeah.
FPL Patreon specials.
Yeah.
Which, if you go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/milesoffsidepod, you can donate and get the chance to listen to.
And I might get a respectable rank at some point, and you'd actually want to listen to me. So
You might. You're doing good. Keep on trucking.
You do also get 1 day early releases of the podcasts as a Patreon.
you do, yeah. That's a good
Benefit.
point, actually, Oscar. Yeah, as a Patreon, I pretty much put the podcast out the second I finished editing it, which sometimes means there might be a mistake in it. I've got no idea. The Patreon podcasts come out the second it's done, whereas the regular feed, I try and
Shit
get out.
munchers. You were going to say the shit munchers.
I was not going to say the shit munchers. The shit munchers get it on the Wednesday morning.
We love our listeners very much.
We do love our listeners, and if you want to get in touch, we're on Twitter at Miles Offside Pod, we're on Facebook, and we're on Instagram as Miles Offside Pod, where you can see the hilarious videos I've been cutting together.
Well, there we go. Should we do next week's fixtures?
Yeah.
Well, we actually remember for once, and we don't just try and sign off the pod. So we start on Saturday, the 5th of October, with Brighton Spurs. Don't watch it. It's on telly. Don't bother. Although early fixture, so chances are Brighton will win. I always say this, but I don't think it ever happens now. I think I've proved that the upset never happens on the early kickoff. But then we've got Burnley-Everton.
Oh dear.
Marco Silva's getting fired. Liverpool-Leicester. So Brendan Rodgers
That could
comes
be a good
back.
game, yeah.
That could be a very good game. Interesting, especially if Liverpool obviously have the Champions League. Didn't get off to the best start there, so we'll really want to try and get up a bit of momentum in there after their loss to Napoli. So it could be a bit vulnerable to Leicester, especially if they play kind of as disjointed and invite the kind of pressure on them, because Leicester have been really good and warrant kind of their third place.
Yep, looking forward to that one.
Norwich Villa.
That could be decent as well.
Yeah, could be good. Villa will have 2 goals disallowed by VAR, and Pookie will get 2 goals in the second half.
Captain Pookie. That's my sneaky pick.
That's your sneaky captain pick.
Yep, Captain Pookie.
Captain Pookie.
Norwich at home against a bad team. No one's going to have the armband on them.
It's not a bad shout.
But, I mean, we'll get to some pretty good justification as to why people won't go for that later. Watford, Sheffield United. Kike Sanchez-Flores is probably getting fired.
All right.
West Ham Palace. Oh, it's at the London Stadium.
Do you guys not do well there? I thought you were good on the road.
No, I just don't like it there. It's horrible.
Oh, okay.
West Ham are in good attacking form as well.
Yeah, they are. They got rid of Andy Carroll, so
That'll do
that's
it.
good for them.
That Yarmolenko's pretty good. You should get him in your FPL teams if you don't have him.
You're such a dick. I put that forward in my wild card, and I said Yarmolenko, and I also said Vardy, and you said I shouldn't go for both of them, and 3 goals between the two of them, and I hate you. But both teams were on an all right run of form. But West Ham, I just think their attacking is quite coherent. So if Palace get a goal, that would be nice. Arsenal, Bournemouth. I don't flip a coin.
Yeah, Arsenal's numbers have we'll save it mostly for next week, but all of their underlying numbers have been horrifying. Basically,
yeah, it's literally it's Aubameyang. At this point, they should change the team name to Aubameyang. They should change the logo to a side profile of his face, and
Be managed by Captain Raffles.
yeah, Captain Raffles pulling the tickets. Then the reason why a lot of people won't be captaining Pookie is Man City at home to Wolves. Wolves, again, I'm guessing if there's Champions League, there's probably Europa League. So Wolves probably got a midweek game as well. They've really shown the kind of form that Burnley had last season, obviously with their Europa hangover, where they've played a lot of games so far. So that could be a bit of a dicking at the Etihad. Then we have Southampton-Chelsea. Lordy Lord God, if you don't win that game, Oscar.
we're good on the road, so I'm feeling confident. Hoping my American side is hoping to see some Pulisic minutes, but my Chelsea side is like, well, he hasn't quite earned them necessarily. He hasn't been the most impressive.
It's because he hasn't played.
Well,
You can't impress if you don't do anything.
he played the first 2 matches and he played 90 in the midweek, and against Grimsby, when everyone else looked good, he had the least touches and the least touches in the final third of the attacking players, I believe. So he hasn't been bad, but he hasn't clearly been undroppable, let's say.
Right.
Whereas Mount and Tammy, he'd be insane to not be playing them. So Callum too. I hope we see Callum in the starting lineup that day.
Yeah, that'd be nice again. And finally, for some reason, this is on fucking TV. Newcastle Man United. I'm going to go for a Steve Bruce win.
On his own.
Yeah, just on his own. Who was it? Richard Keys said that Rafa should just buy the players himself if he wanted to. Yeah. I'm saying that if Steve Bruce wants the goals, just needs to score them himself. Score him himself. Yeah. And sort it out.
Did you see that someone had cut together a big video of Steve Bruce making noises when he sits down?
No. Old man noises.
Yeah, when he sits down at press conferences, he can't help but make noises as he sits down. Just God. A supercut of these noises. I'll have to find it and tweet it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Good content.
Oh, that is definitely content. That's a preview this week. There you go. Yeah. Little bit. And that's it. Fixtures. So like we said, we'll probably be a little bit later next week because of uncertainty and logistics and planning. One thing's for certain, we're not recording if I'm not fucking here.
Mr.
I
100%.
will stay as Mr. 100%. But yeah, so we've got the international break, so we'll do a bit of a league roundup, maybe throw open another pod in there to just talk about some bullshit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Food was good last time, so we could just go for food again.
Yeah, why not?
And then Ian will get upset that only 4 people listen.
What, to the food one? Did all right.
Yeah, it did good. But I remember you going I really want this one to be good.
I thought it was a good episode. I really enjoyed it.
It was a good episode.
Yeah.
If any listeners are going to be at New York Comic Con, feel free to message me. We can meet up and say hi.
Yeah.
It's a big one. It's the second biggest Comic Con in America, so there's a decent chance that someone will be around.
Mm-hmm.
So feel free.
And if anyone in Barbados wants to, meet up with me, just pay for a flight and I'll pop over. Yeah, that's simple.
Easy, isn't it?
Just to get a holiday. So thank you very much, gents. It's been a lovely evening where once again we said we'd be quick and it's 2.5 hours later. So
a lovely time. A lovely time.
Thanks for battling through, Oscar.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
What a guy. Who says drugs are bad? Just take loads of painkillers and cough medicine and you too can sound that good. Thank you very much for listening, guys. Take care and bye.
Brought to you by Scampy Fries.
Chuck, do you often have that problem where like you get too excited and then you come too early with the, you know?
I feel like you tried to be sort of double entendre there and then just said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Do you often get too excited and then just cheers?
Do you often ejaculate?